Passage 1 talks about how today we live in unequal societies. The author calls these trans-egalitarian societies, which have been formed after the forager societies, because the forager societies could not sustain an increase in scale and an increase in the storage. So as the concept of storage arose, as the scale of the societies arose, we could not sustain the equality that used to be prevalent in the forager societies. So the author talks about how today, in today's world, people, the elites, they wield their political influence to, they wield their wealth to buy political influence, which again produces more wealth, right? He discusses this important aspect. Then the author talks about how these elite societies are not something that have to be always there. We can still mitigate some of their effects. While we cannot go back to the forager societies, we can still mitigate some of their aspects. And social technologies can actually help us there. So he ends on this note that social technologies can, in fact, help us as they have helped China. So that example has been given towards the end. Question 2. Which one of the following statements, if false, would be seen as supporting the arguments in the passage? So if it is false, then it would support. That means when it is true, it would not support. So first, understanding the question stem is very, very important. A. In forager worlds, leveling coalitions enforced equality with collective action restraining ambition. This is something that is mentioned in the passage. So if I take you back, we say that today, those bids for power are bid for political influence, power. It is likely to succeed because of the decay of leveling coalitions that enforced equality in forager worlds. So in forager worlds, there used to be these coalitions, these alliances that actually enforced equality. So then why is it that they collapsed? Because collective action to restrain ambition became increasingly difficult. So collective action to restrain ambition became increasingly difficult. That means it was something that was there in the forager worlds, but it became increasingly difficult, and that's why we entered trans-egalitarian societies. So A is mentioned in the passage. Coming to option B, equality is inherent in society and is independent of the establishment of an economy of storage and an expansion in social scale. This goes against the theme, the main idea of the passage. Okay. The passage talks about how we became inegalitarian because of this economy of storage and an expansion in social scale. In fact, there is an exact sentence in the passage that talks about these expectations. First, inequality depends on a prior establishment of an economy of storage and an expansion in social scale. So doesn't this go directly against what is there in option B? Okay, so can we not say that option B has to be the answer? Because if it is true, it's not supporting the passage. It is going against the passage. So B is our answer here. Let's look at C and D also. Forager communities were precursors of trans-egalitarian communities. Yes, this is stated throughout the passage that they came earlier. Precursor means something that comes earlier. D. Egalitarian practices such as sharing and consensus decision making are inherent to human nature. So this is something again stated towards the end. The author says egalitarian cooperative human communities are possible. Why? Because widespread sharing and consensus decision making are not contrary to human nature. They are in line with human nature, right? So again, this supports uh, option D, supports my arguments, the author's arguments in the passage. So this cannot be the answer. So only one possible answer, which is B. Again, if you've understood the passage, if you retain where various parts are mentioned, then this is not a difficult question.